Hey, welcome back. Hold on, let me set a timer here. All right. Put some food in the oven that will be done, sort of a stromboli. Something will be done in about 35 minutes. And I will actually get something to eat. For now, I've got juice. So welcome back. We're just starting Dragon Age Inquisition. We've been through most of the introduction. And while everyone is still quite suspicious of the Herald, what the Herald represents, they're also in awe.
Chancellor Roderick says that the Chantry wants nothing to do with us.
That isn't Chancellor Roderick's decision, sister.
Most of the Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. Who will lead us now?
Andraste didn't have Grand Clerics telling her what to do, and she managed nonetheless.
You expect us to be like Andraste?
Someone must.
Not sure how I want to handle the ambient dialogue. Stopping to hover by NPCs when they're talking. I have a habit of doing that. I may do that. So far, and despite my testing yesterday during the introduction, I'm seeing a number of small glitchy things in this version. Previously played through on PS4, but I've seen visual glitches, mechanical glitches, scripting glitches, audio glitches. Oh, man. I've got this little mental list going right now. Frustrating. Hopefully that can be ignored, mostly ignored, and it won't affect the play. We'll see. I may mess with stuff after the stream today, see if I can't get things into a better state. Got more than enough hardware to handle it, and it's not even all maxed out. Sweet. Okay, let's spend some points. I thought I had picked up evade before. I wasn't paying quite enough attention. I had picked up the passive evasion that we were going to need anyways and want. But evade will let me leap away from incoming attacks. So if I get, and it's a 2-second cooldown, so it's nice and fast. If I take aggro, I am not the tank. I will not be going toe-to-toe throughout this playthrough. This is huge. Fade. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Vinter Imperium once sent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade. Ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. First early books and Codex editions have been really solid. I don't remember how much of it I read when I was playing this before, so...
To be tried by whomever becomes divine.
I do not believe she is guilty.
The prisoner failed, Seeker. The breach is still in the sky. For all you know, she intended...
Arguing about the Seeker in the other room? Or about the Herald?
That is not for you to decide. Your duty is to serve the Chantry.
My duty is to serve the principles on which the Chantry was founded.
What kind of indoor maps do we have? For I don't remember. Do we not have any indoor maps? Nothing. Should she just bang her head on that? Oh, that's awesome. Do that again. Ow! Ow! The founding of the Chantry. You'll have lots of time to read codex entries during loading screens. Maybe, maybe not. I know the loading screens are kind of hefty, but it should be fast enough. It is also loading off solid state. It shouldn't be too bad. Hey, Chi, what's up? Founding of the Chantry. Cordelius Dracon, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. Year -15 ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastian belief to the world. -3 ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Dracon knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the Empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor, to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the Empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Alessa Montismard was elected to lead the new Chantry. On her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia, in honor of the disciple who recorded Andraste's songs. In that moment, the ancient era ended, and the divine age began. Chantry hierarchy. Guess we're getting lots of story time right off the bat. And some of this overlaps or even repeats what we have already read in Origins and Dragon Age 2. And I'm not gonna let that stop me, because this is all very relevant. They put these things here now, and in some cases again, because it's very relevant. Chantry hierarchy. The divine is the titular head of the Chantry. Although, since the schism split the Imperial Chantry into its own faction, there are now in fact 2 divines at any one time. One divine, informally called the White Divine, is a woman housed in the Grand Cathedral in Val Royeaux. The other, known as the Black Divine, is a man housed in the Argent Spire in Minrathous. Neither divine recognizes the existence of the other. The informal names are considered sacrilegious. No matter the gender, a divine is addressed as Most Holy or Your Perfection. Beneath the rank of divine is the Grand Cleric. Each Grand Cleric presides over numerous chantries and represents the highest religious authority for their region. They travel to Val Royeaux when the College of Clerics convenes, but otherwise remain where they are assigned. All Grand Clerics are addressed as Your Grace. Beneath the Grand Cleric is the Mother, or in the Imperial Chantry, the Father. If a mother is in charge of a particular chantry, Revered is appended to her title. These are the priests responsible for administering to the spiritual well-being of their flock. A mother or Reverend Mother is addressed as Your Reverence. Brothers and sisters form the rank and file of the Chantry. Consist of 3 main groups. Affirmed, Initiates, and Clerics. Affirmed are the lay brethren of the Chantry, those regular folk who have turned to the Chantry for succor. Often they are people who have led a difficult or irreligious life and have chosen to go into seclusion, or even orphans and similar unfortunates who were raised into Chantry life. The Affirmed take care of the Chantry and are in turn afforded a life of quiet contemplation, no questions asked. Only those folk who take vows become initiates. These are men and women in training, whether in academic knowledge or the martial skills of a warrior. All initiates receive an academic education, although only those who seek to become Templars learn how to fight in addition. Clerics are the true academics of the Chantry, those men and women who have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge. They are often found in Chantry archives, sages presiding over libraries of books and arcane knowledge. Most senior of these clerics, placed in charge of such archives, are given the title Elder, although such a rank is still beneath that of Mother. All other brothers and sisters are addressed simply by nothing, noting their title before their name, such as Brother Genitivi, without whom we would have so little knowledge of the world, for he wrote everything. rogues. Man, you're making me work. I'm gonna lose my voice an hour into the game. Andraste, Bride of the Maker. Wow. You know, I gotta break from reading some of this. If you want to, if you'd like to hear that, remind me in a little bit. And the Black City. In particular, I think some of these are the repeats. I would like to read them all, but I can't read all this out loud without consequences. I just spend 30 minutes reading solid The Disciples of Andraste. It's good stuff. I encourage you all to read it. And if there's something you would like to hear in particular, let me know. But I think it would be less than prudent to push that point right now. We could spend the next 2 hours of me just reading these codex entries. They're gonna throw them at us. 3 per room. Misplaced notes. I will continue to read things, but I will be more selective about it. Reading out all the lore of the game if it's going to come in tidal waves. I'm going to have to take it a little easy on that. Misplaced notes. Notes written by one of the scholars responsible for restoring Haven. The notes have obviously come loose from a ledger of some sort. It took weeks scrubbing blood stains from the stone. One of two things is true. Either stone is more porous than I thought, or Maker's beard, there must have been a lot of blood. How many people died? I'm so relieved I didn't have to deal with the altars of sacrifice the first arrivals found. Those were just tossed off a cliff, I think. But now we just have to deal with the stains on the walls and the floors. If this doesn't clean up in a day or two, I'm asking for some fresh plaster. Maybe we can cover them up. Still, it's not all bad. Haven is a beautiful place, and while working in the dungeons, we found scraps of paper with writing that looks like Brother Ferdinand Genetivi's. He was held here for weeks before the hero of Ferelden found him. Haven. Remember finding on the trail of Brother Genetivi? You're wandering around here before even getting things rolling was the best plan. We came in. Guess we're heading back out. You know the game well enough, and I missed. Ow! My head again. I noticed. If I missed anything down there that you noticed, let me know. Turn in research. We'll be turning in quite a bit of research. Enemies drop unique collectibles. Bring them to the researcher to learn more about your foes and earn combat bonuses against them.
I believe Seeker Pentagast was looking for you.
Yes, so you won't speak to me until I speak to her? Well...
Thank you.
Shadow essence is removed. Children of Andraste. Yeah, we could spend an hour reading about the structure of the church and chantry, and I have before. Going back on what I said, not gonna read them all. The Maker. There was no word for heaven or for earth, for sea or sky. All that existed was silence. Then the voice of the Maker rang out, the first word, and his word became all that might be. Dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. And from it made his firstborn. He said to them, in my image I forge you, to you I give dominion over all that exists, By your will may all things be done. Then, in the center of heaven, he called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. The children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne and sang hymns of praise unending. But their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with the golden light reflected from the Maker's throne. They held forth the banners that flew on their own. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done. Yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever changing." And he knew he had wrought amiss. So the Maker turned from his firstborn and took from the Fade a measure of its living flesh, and placed it apart from the spirits, and spoke to it, saying, "Here I decree opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. By my will alone is balance sundered and the world given new life. And no longer was it formless, ever changing, but held fast, immutable, with words for heaven and for earth, sea and sky. At last did the Maker from the living world make men, immutable as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. Then the Maker said, "To you, my second-born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the Fade I crafted you, and to the Fade you shall return, each night in dreams that you may always remember me." And then the Maker sealed the gates of the golden city, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders his children would create. Good stuff.
Chain her! I want her prepared for travel to the capital for trial.
Disregard that and leave us.
You walk a dangerous line, Seeker.
The breach is stable, but it is still a threat. I will not ignore it.
I did everything I could to close the breach. It almost killed me.
Yet you live. A convenient result insofar as you're concerned.
Have a care, Chancellor. The breach is not the only threat we face.
Someone was behind the explosion at the Conclave. Someone most holy did not expect. Perhaps they died with the others, or have allies who yet live.
I am a suspect?
You, and many others.
But not the prisoner.
I heard the voices in the temple. The Divine called to her for help.
So her survival, that thing on her hand, all a coincidence.
Providence. The Maker sent her to us in our darkest hour.
I'm not a chosen one. Serious? Blessed be the Maker. Yeah, it's for dialogue wheels. No one was talking to you. I don't know if that made it over mic, but certain digital assistant was poking into the game.
The breach is stable now. What more do you want from me?
We must try again.
The breach remains, and your mark is still our only hope of closing it.
This is not for you to decide.
You know what this is, Chancellor. A writ from the Divine, granting us the authority to act. As of this moment, I declare the Inquisition reborn. We will close the breach, we will find those responsible, and we will restore order with or without your approval.
This is the Divine's directive. Rebuild the Inquisition of old. Find those who will stand against the chaos. We aren't ready. We have no leader, no numbers. And now, no Chantry support.
But we have no choice. We must act now, with you at our side.
That dragon armor looks really silly. We're gonna have to take that off.
What is the Inquisition of old, exactly?
It preceded the Chantry. People who banded together to restore order in a world gone mad.
After, they laid down their banner and formed the Templar Order, but the Templars have lost their way. We need those who can do what must be done, united under a single banner once more.
But aren't you still part of the Chantry?
Is that what you see?
The Chantry will take time to find a new Divine. And then it will wait for her direction.
But we cannot wait. So many Grand Clerics died at the Conclave. No, we are on our own. Perhaps forever.
Chantry's been obliterated. Any rebuilding is gonna be tenuous.
You're trying to start a holy war.
We are already at war. You are already involved. Its mark is upon you. As to whether the war is holy, that depends on what we discover.
What if I refuse?
You can go if you wish.
You should know that while some believe you chosen, many still think you guilty. The Inquisition can only protect you if you are with us.
We can also help you.
It will not be easy if you stay, but you cannot pretend this has not changed you.
When I woke up, I certainly didn't picture this outcome.
Neither did we.
Help us fix this before it's too late.
Hey, game's over. See y'all later. Arrgh. So it begins. Report to Haven's Chantry.
Too many wounded. Not enough bandages to go around.
Start tearing up shirts then. If the Inquisition can afford fancy new uniforms, it can afford bandages.
Here's our first good look at the map around Haven. Main quest objective, report to Haven's Chantry. You can go wandering off and explore things. Solas is up there. We can go talk to Solas. Apothecary, Quartermaster, Merchants. Speak with the Smith, Haven's best and brightest. In these trying times, good help is not so hard to find. Explore Haven, meet some of the Inquisition's crafting masters. They should have let the player make the banner. Hey, that would have been pretty cool. Interesting. All right. Forgot about that. Dents, I got your message back. I forgot about that. The war room. Map. Well, let's look around a little bit. There are some things to be picked up. Gold, crafting materials. I'm not necessarily going to call out all the loot I pick up, but I might call out some of it. Since I'll be picking it up as quickly as possible and moving on, might shout out some of it just so you know what I am picking up.
I shall embrace the light. I shall weather the storm.
When will you be able to get us the crafting supplies we need?
What you have
When they're
created,
ready.
no
Piss
one
off.
can tear asunder.
Fulfill Inquisition requisitions with the Quartermaster.
No, my lady, I don't know where the other nobles are. I suggest you ask Ambassador Montillier. Oh, you're her. Thrin, Inquisition Quartermaster. I'm doing what I can to supply this mess. If you find what I need to fill one of my requisitions, I'd appreciate you bringing it in.
What do you do here?
I make sure the Inquisition troops have food in their bellies and iron in their hands. Both are important. Lots of people expecting us to be heroes, marching all day to fight the demons. Turns out heroes need to dig latrines just like everyone else.
How does someone end up as quartermaster for the Inquisition?
I served for Eldon under Ten Loghain MacTier. Best commanding officer this world has ever seen. After they all turned on him at Denerim, though, there wasn't much use for people who held that opinion. King Alistair offered my services to the Inquisition, probably to get rid of me.
With that attitude, I can't imagine how you made enemies in Denerim.
People just don't want to hear the truth. I was at Ostagar, and I know what really happened. King Kaelan overextended his position, and the Grey Wardens were too late lighting the signal.
Oh, is that
Following
what
the original
really
plan would have
happened?
gotten everyone killed. Ten Loghain made the right decision. I apologize. Sister Liliana told me I shouldn't talk about this. Just forget it.
Loghain might have really believed that following the original plan would have gotten everyone killed. We'll never know, because he didn't do it. He turned and left with all his troops that were part of the original plan. He was a traitor to his king, whether or not the plan would have gotten everyone killed. Good God.
What did you mean when you mentioned requisitions?
I'm making this Inquisition run with what we have, but we're not a real army. We're stretched thin on materials, so I've put up a requisition list for anything that could help our people. Here, take a look. You find some iron and a good login site, maybe Harrick can get our troops better weapons.
If I have material for a special order, do I bring it to you?
Just take it over there. One of my boys will take the materials or jot down what you found.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Requisitions, not enough materials for this schematic. Probably a little early to talk about this, but when we have the things that she wants, you look at what we get as a reward. Reward +1 power. When we get to the ward table, we'll talk more about that. Power and influence, like stuff.
Ally with the Templars, I'd imagine?
We need it. because things are gated by how much power you do and don't have, but we'll end up having plenty, so I'm not sure how much that matters. Wildhood, how are you doing? Charlie! No polls. We don't have any polls going for Inquisition. Don't know that there's anything I necessarily would do a poll for. I don't know. I don't have any of that in mind right now. Do I have every DLC? I did pick up the PC Game of the Year edition. I had previously played it on PlayStation. So far, I'm not impressed with the PC port. We've got more than enough hardware to run it well, and it's not running well. It's not running well. Little things. It's fine overall, and the frame rate is mostly good, but there's itching and glitches, audio glitches, visual glitches, mechanical glitches, cutscenes play poorly. I think the fact that it's so inconsistently lit from scene to scene, and it's so shiny in places, and then it's really dark in others. I think that is the same across versions. I don't quite remember. But overall, I am impressed not at all with the PC version. Weird.
I suppose you're right. Can I get you anything? What can you tell me about this area?
Adan is Haven's apothecary. He's been making potions and tending to the wounded as best he can. Harris is the Inquisition smith. Whatever he can make you, Thren the quartermaster can probably find. And for anything fancier, you can try buying from Segret. His prices aren't too high. Yet. Oh, there's also Minave. She studies beasts and things, as I understand.
We met her inside briefly. She wouldn't speak to us because we were supposed to go meet with Cassandra at the time. One of the big differences between this and the previous Dragon Age games is Skyrim. Skyrim is one of the big differences between this and the others. BioWare made no secret of the fact that they were sort of wowed by the response to Skyrim, and that they kind of wanted to imbue their next product with some of that magic that the open world has potential for. Decision was made to make Inquisition an open world game, and I think a lot of what this game became was a result of that initial choice. Many of the other design changes to the game came out of that one. That's my opinion. I don't know how it really went down in development.
Cassandra's out of earshot. Are you holding up all right? I mean, you go from being the most wanted criminal in Thedas to joining the armies of the faithful. Most people would have spread that out over more than one day.
This is all bullshit. That's the wheel option. Nice.
I'm just glad I'm still standing after all that.
I still can't believe you survived Cassandra. You're lucky you were out cold for most of her frothing rage. For days now, we've been staring at the breach, watching demons and maker knows what fall out of it. Bad for morale would be an understatement. I still can't believe anyone was in there and lived.
Go grab my sandwich stromboli out of the oven here. I put it in during the break, so it's finally about ready. It's been about 35 minutes. My timer's about to go off. Finish up with Varric, and then I'm gonna run down and grab it real quick.
If it was that bad, why did you stay? Cassandra said you were free to go.
I like to think I'm as selfish and irresponsible as the next guy, but this... Thousands of people died on that mountain. I was almost one of them. And now there's a hole in the sky. Even I can't walk away and just leave that to sort itself out.
Arle, what kind of game state do you have? What do you mean? In what regards? Anything specific you're wondering about? Yes, timer. Okay, I better go grab that food before it burns.
It's pure luck that I escaped.
Good luck or bad?
That remains
You might want to
seen.
consider running at the first opportunity. I've written enough tragedies to recognize where this is going. Heroes are everywhere. I've seen that. But the hole in the sky, that's beyond heroes. We're going to need a miracle.
Be right back. I'll give you a... Ooh, good views here. There we go. There's the hole in the sky. In just a sec. I gotta grab my food. Hey, yeah, Garley, I figured you meant World State from Dragon Age Keep, but what do you mean? I mean, there's like 80 things in there. Yeah, I built up a World State in Dragon Age Keep. Any particular decisions you were wondering about? I tried to recreate what we did in Origins and in Dragon Age 2. But since there's no actual save import, that's kind of mean. That's a lot of decisions. The basics. Well, we just played through. I still, Gurley, I still don't know how best to answer that. I think you're gonna have to be more specific about what you're interested in knowing. Andraste's Mabari. You know Andraste's old Mabari? He doesn't show up in the chant. And if you ask those holy sisters, well, they'll say Andraste can't. I've had some big old smelly war dog. But all Ferelden knows it right. Our sweet lady needed someone who would warm her feet at night. And there's Andraste's Mabari, by the holy prophet's side, in the fight against Tevinter that the dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal, without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Oh, that dog, he guards Andraste, without arrogance or fear, only asking of his mistress just a scratch behind the ears. But then old Mafarath gets to plotting, tries to lure that dog away. But even as they trap the prophet, her Mabari never strays. And there's Andraste's Mabari, by the holy prophet's side, in the fight against Tevinter, that dog would never hide. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal, without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. This is not short! Well, they put a lot into writing all of these this time, didn't they? We're gonna drop books into the game this time. Hey, Slugger. Oh, they thought the wounds had killed him, but then he limped out towards the fire, and Hessarian he shed a tear as that dog laid on the pyre. And there's Andraste's Mabari by the holy prophet's side in the fight against Tevinter that the dog would never hide. That dog would never hide. This needs music. They say the Maker sent him special, always loyal without pride, so he could be the sworn companion of the Maker's holy bride. Yes, that Mabari's the companion of the Maker's holy bride. The tavern song. And I don't have the music. Garley, the basics. Is Alistair king? Yes, Alistair is king because he was king when we just played through. We did make Alistair king. Yes, he's king. Old baby god. Yes, he and Morgan had an old god baby. Morgan had the baby. Troublesome boner. Does Skyrim have books? Yep. Put them in. It does make you think a little, doesn't it? At the push. Scout coat looks better than this medium armor of the dragon, which is just too flashy for me. I've never seen these. They must have come with the DLC. Never had the Avar armor. Looks like body paint. Pants and body paint. Gigantic shoulder guards. Oh, we could try it. Armor is worn by Kunari officers in both the army and navy and signifies a command role. Although in typical Kunari fashion, no one outside the Kun can tell which role is which. Melee defense, range defense, empty sigil slot. This has constant running. Less armor. There are interesting bows besides the bow of the dragon. Bow of the dragon has fire damage and guard damage bonus. But it looks so goofy, I think I'm just going to take it off. Or normal bow. Something to just try not to look like I'm wearing DLC armor. Why does DLC armor have to be so flashy? Here's your starter pack. You can look like you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
I don't see why we need to build siege equipment. We're not laying siege to anything.
That's an excellent point, Recruit. But if someone comes to lay siege to us, perhaps it will be best for us to have some means to fight back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir.
Rather than do a whole lot of exploring now, I guess I intended to go around town a little bit, head back to the Chantry. But I was starting to wander out towards the extremities. Remember who's where, but... various things. I was just headed. There might be stuff that shows on the map after we get there that's not showing on the map now. I have to refamiliarize myself with how map locations appear. Some of it will just come back to me.
If the Inquisition wants to field a decent cavalry, it needs better horses. I heard Seeker Pentagast might try to acquire suitable mounts from Master Dennett in the hinterlands.
Oh, and who are you to be fishing around for what the higher-ups are doing?
Back in Ansburg,
We will have mounts. Well, the mounts are pretty cool. Have a hollow mount? Modify armor and weapons with the right ingredients. Upgrade an item. And freely remove and add existing upgrades or exchange them between different items.
You need something, let me know.
Likewise, weapons.
Another time, then. Expected you'd be by. I'm Harriet, and everyone knows who you are. How's the new gear fit?
It's not exactly what I'm used to.
Expecting more curly bits, Lady Trevelyan? World's gone mad.
Stock armor and blades are good against bandits, but we're not fighting bandits. My gear will see you through demons, apostates, whatever this world throws at you. So, you need custom work, something special. You bring the materials to us, we'll make it happen.
How did you come to be here?
Come from a little town called Lothbury. Long gone now. I was in Redcliffe when the Darkspawn hit it during the Blight. Helped rebuild. Left when Royalty decided it was time to hand the place over to the bloody mages. Ended up here. Just missed the boom. Can't decide if I'm the luckiest son of a bitch walking or the exact opposite.
You're still walking. That's always good.
True enough.
Does the Inquisition not have supplies to make armor or weapons?
Tough convincing traders to haul up here. Impossible to get them to risk the rare stuff, so that's on you.
Can you help improve my arms and armor?
Yes. You find a new piece, a pauldron or greaves, we'll take care of you. You can't just slap a new hilt on your sword in the field. Bring it here, we'll make sure it's done right and proper.
If I want something, what can you make?
Start simple. Something to keep you safe. Take a look at it on the table there and we can talk. You'll need materials. We should have what you want just outside.
Goodbye.
Right.
Single-use amulet lets the bearer clear her mind, reapply the benefits of combat knowledge. It's a respec amulet. First one's cheap. Craft armor. We were given schematic for a scout coat. Requires leather. Materials. For 7 leather defense. Crafting. Oh, it'll all come back. 5 different types of crafting slots. Utility, offense, defense, damage, and armor. Type of slot determines the stat that will be generated from the material placed in it. For example, placing iron in a defense slot gives a bonus to melee defense, while putting it in the utility slot gives a bonus to strength. Experiment with different combinations of materials and slots to create unique items that fit your needs. Requires 7 leather. And leather, there are different types. Required 4 leather. Requires cloth and leather. Metal and leather. Cloth and leather.
You need something? Let me know.
Have some armor made, which means we need to gather more leather. I think if we wander off a little bit, we'll find a few enemies. Get some of that leather. Wandering off by ourselves now might be stupid. Tiny bit, see what. Oh look, it's a nug!
Die!
Yes, you scream at that nug! You go. Leather! 2 nug skin. The type of materials that you use when you're crafting armor also determines some of the appearance. The colors. Making something out of nug skin will look different than making something out of dragon scales. Whatever. Angus, what's up? Oh, just getting started. Trying to relearn how to play. Checking out places around Haven. Locate iron, 2 of 5. Requisition for weapons, 5 iron, 1 logging stand. What do we need? A logging stand. More nugs. MJP, hello! What's up? Penitent's Crossing. Pilgrims seeking to visit the Temple of Sacred Ashes are allowed to ride as far as the bridge known as Penitent's Crossing. Then, whether they be sick or healthy, young or aged, the pilgrims are expected to walk by the temple sisters who supervise the bridge. All but the very sick and old are asked to shed heavy coats as they cross the bridge, allowing the cutting winds to strip prideful fixation upon this world from the flesh. I'm gonna do some abbreviated readings, since there's so much more in them, good as they may be. Voice has to last through the stream. Hey, Mangus, just a webcam. The choice I made last year, and it worked, and I liked it, so I've kept it. Need more nug skin. Oh, trying to get away, eh? Okay. You see that? The arrow bounced off the rocks and it still got the back. Alright, alright, alright. We can come back here. And you see how the mini-map is showing various plants, animals are showing up different colors on the mini-map. We've got non-hostile animals in blue, like the nugs that I'm killing mercilessly. I don't see why I can't get any of their skin. Give me your skin. I want your skin. We've got 4 nug skin. I'm not sure that's enough. Take a look. Might actually be some 16 nug skin. Ah, that's what he meant. He meant go look in the box, not go hunt nugs. 16 nug skin, 16 Druffalo hide, and a recurved longbow schematic. Excellent. The beginning of the game, read everything and kill all the nugs. I'm with you. I'm with you. I have played the game before, including on Nightmare, but it has been a long time, and I've not played the DLC, and I'm having to relearn everything from scratch. Outcoat. We also have what it would take to make... Oh, Defender coat arms, Scout coat legs. Outcoat. Take a look. With Druffalo hide, it would be that color. Nug skin, it would be white. That's cool. I like that the different crafting materials affect the visuals of the product. Tier 1 heavy armor arm schematic, Defender coat arms. Tier 1 medium armor leg schematic. The Scout coat itself, medium armor. Let's say we were gonna put... Just the stats changing a little bit. I guess I'm blocking them here. +1 critical chance. +2 critical damage. Different stats depending on what we pick. Ability slot. Dexterity or cunning. Dexterity or cunning. Second choice. All nug skin. Deflecting Scout coat. You can also rename your gear. Renaming the gear you start the game with is probably not so worth it. Eventually you may want to rename your gear. using the bow.
Not studied those skills.
Instead of using that dragon bow, which is just so overdone. That thing. Ornamental, it doesn't look functional. 58 damage, Ferelden Skirmisher Longbow, plus 3 dex, empty grip, slot, rune slot. You could craft. The favorite extra stat is guard, once you get the mats to make it. You know, all this stuff is, I'm gonna have to relearn it all. It sounds so far off. Oh yeah, what does that mean? Iron, onyx. You get higher tier materials, you'll see higher DPS versions of the same weapons that you can make. Chance to stagger target, chance to stagger attacker on being hit, offense, defense. We use onyx instead of iron, we get different bonuses. Also, primary slot, staff damage type. If you were to make a staff with this, it would be electricity for iron and cold for onyx. Both have low armor ratings. Tier 1 metals. Don't think there's any point in making this bow right now.
Ah, pity. Well, at least you won't be causing any trouble or getting possessed.
No.
Early game, I'll be doing more just stumbling about and relearning. But as we get into things and we have money and resources and options, I would love feedback from people who have more or just better experience with the game on different things to do. I may not take the advice. If you've been here much, you know I can be pretty stubborn. Even when I ask for advice, sometimes I can get downright defensive about the advice that I get, which I don't. Anyways, I'll be looking for advice on tactics, especially when we get into difficult spots. Struggle to remember how to play. When I played on Nightmare before, it was actually my 3rd playthrough of the game, so I had ramped up to it. Now it's been so long, I don't even remember how to play. Death from above. Damage bonus from anywhere you have elevation, little hill, somewhere to stand and shoot from. Full draw. Leaping shot might have been one of my favorites. You want to get back there. Go death from above and then get to leaping shot pretty soon. The combination of evade and leaping shot should already get me pretty mobile on the battlefield. And we can talk about other directions to go. We're gonna need a lot of this stuff, so let's go get some levels. Let's do it. Cassandra, we've got some points to spend. We finally get to start leveling up our... Do you have enemy up-leveling turned on? I didn't change any gameplay settings like that. So... I knew this game had a enemy upscaling option. How are we gonna build Cassandra? Weapon and shield, two-handed weapon, battle master, vanguard. Definitely want to use her as a tank. She's gonna need taunt and all kinds of guard. Taking a look at what she's already got in weapon and shield. Shield wall. Guard provides protection from incoming attacks by granting additional health. Guard must be broken before a target will take damage. Stand firm and block incoming attacks at the cost of stamina. Each block adds to your guard. You move much more slowly while sustaining this ability. Pretty much a must for a tank. Bear mauls the wolves. Constitution bonus. Shield bash. Bonus damage versus guard. And once upon a time, learned a lot of this stuff. So far away. What are some of the best things for a tank to generate guard with? It probably was. None of the DLC was even out when I last played this G. It was all the vanilla game. Cavalier's Step. When you use shield wall, your movement is not slowed as much. Also protect nearby allies by giving them improved armor. Armor bonus 30%. Object. That's one of the one I was looking for. Blocking with the shield wall costs less stamina and generates more guard. Cannot move while blocking. Movable object. Vanguard, these stalwart warriors protect their allies by making themselves the biggest target on the battlefield. When enemies take the bait, vanguards pick them apart with brutal precision. We already got some of that as well. There's challenge. Shout carries across the battlefield. Generate some guard. Last 8 seconds. Stamina regen. Or no cooldown. War Cry, guard per enemy. Taunt all nearby enemies with a shouted challenge, gaining extra guard for each enemy affected. Sounds like a good guard generator. Touchable defense bonus to your maximum guard. Charging Bull, guard per enemy. Lots of things that generate guard. Probably won't be able to effectively use them all. Certainly not all at once. End up with some combinations, hopefully, and patterns that are pretty useful for generating that guard in different situations. Right, what's available? Armor bonus, when you have active guard. Charging Bolt, we could take right now. 10% guard per enemy. That War Cry. I think the War Cry... I want to get off to this side of the tree at some point anyways. This will give nearby allies an armor bonus. Now, hopefully, there won't be too many mages or rogues standing right next to Cassandra while she's tanking. Actually get that bonus. If they're that close, that bonus would be awesome. Stamina restored. 10% for every 10% health lost. Warriors resolve. Probably works better in combination with other things. If you're going to be taking damage and generating stamina, you're going to want to have a plan for burning that stamina effectively and generating guard. Taunting and taunting and taunting again, that kind of thing. Lunge and slash. Bear mauls the wolves. You can't be flanked by enemies and you're less likely to be staggered when hit from the front. Not immediately going to build up any more guard, but not being flanked is good. It'll get us to shield bash. Well, we'll do some things, and when they do or don't work, we'll change some things. If we were going to manually take control of party members, we can assign these to slots. Tactics setting. Enabled abilities are used when appropriate. Is that it for tactics? We don't get to order tactics. More of the stuff I don't remember. We don't get to put any priorities on things. We just... what? Disable things or enable things if we don't want them to be part of the character's tactics? If I wanted shield wall to only be done manually, I could disable it. Oh, preferred. That's what they have. Ah! Yes, preferred. Coming back. You can set a couple things to preferred. Prioritize things that way. How well does that work? Behavior screen. There they went. Behavior screen. Behavior screen allows you to provide instructions to your party on how they should fight, cooperate, and defend themselves in combat. While you can directly control and switch between party members at any time, they will follow these rules when you're not controlling them. AI tactics, on or off. This I ever looked at. Mana Stamina Reserve. If mana stamina falls below this threshold, party member will stop using abilities that require it. Targeting behavior. Follow the controlled character. Defend the controlled character. Change it from controlled character to specific character, etc. Healing Potion Reserve. Party member will not use healing potions if this many or fewer remain. Ah, alright, I remember turning this up to a very conservative amount. I mean, I want to make sure that I have potions left that I can control the use of, and my party members don't all just quaff potions as they get hit. I'm going to bump that up to 5 for everyone for now. Healing Potion. When the party member's health falls below this threshold, they will attempt to use a healing potion. Might want that higher, but that leads to burning through potions really quick. Keep it on 30%. Basics though. I have no problem giving her something that covers up more, even though I do like skin. It does look a little silly for a piece of armor. We need something decent. I could put on that scout coat we made. We'd lose some bonuses, I think, but all right, that was a good little refresher. Gee, the targeting behavior isn't so good at keeping ranged out of stuff on the ground, unfortunately.
My uncle died at the conclave. I'm a good writer, and, well...
All men are the work of our Maker's hands. From the lowest slaves to the highest kings. Those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and accursed by the Maker.
Reason, Lisette. We cannot stay here.
Why not?
Because we...
Yes?
Templars, you're staying even what happened at the Conclave. Who are we even talking to? No, who are you?
I'd like your take on the Templar Order.
It's a shadow of what it was. Where once we both protected all people from the dangers of magic, we now posture and grab at power. One day, I hope the circles are again sanctuaries where mages can practice their craft.
You're not going to rejoin the Order?
When the temple went up, your forces rescued those few of us still alive. My life is a debt I intend to repay, however I can.
Do you have any idea what caused the explosion?
No, I'm just a recruit. Belief and faith doesn't get you closer to the important meetings. Though that distance did save my life.
I will talk to you later.
Walk in the Maker's grace.
Talk to Solus before we head back to the pantry. We could go wandering off some more.
I spoke with Commander Cullen. I apologize for what I said earlier.
It's nothing. Now, Scout Plane, what can you tell me of Redcliffe?
The mages have been quiet since their attack on the Conclave.
Their attack? Do you have information confirming that the mages were responsible?
Well, I had assumed.
Don't. Our job is to acquire actionable information. Assumptions can lead you to overlook something vital.
Twizzle, how are you doing? Game's only £10 in the Xbox store. Like a really good price. You never played it. How about the other Dragon Age games? Have you played any of the others?
Ah, you're awake and out of Lady Cassandra's clutches. And here I paid that little knife ear to inform me the moment you were free. No matter, no matter. Segret, honored to meet you. Thank you for all you've done, and hopefully will still do.
What do you think I'll be doing, exactly?
Word's already spreading that if anyone can close that blighted thing in the sky, it's you. Anything you need is yours. For a reasonable price, of course. Supplies are a little tight, given the circumstances.
What kind of person stays to run a shop at a time like this?
The kind with nowhere else to go. Those blasted demons destroyed most of my goods. If I stay here, work some contacts, I can start rebuilding. Maybe, just maybe, help you folks out in the process.
Yeah, we are at the very beginning of the game, so the game has not picked up its pace at all yet. So in terms of evaluating the game, keep in mind that we are at the start. It's not still the tutorial so much as it's so early, there just aren't a lot of things to do or places to go yet. And maybe I should put a little bit of a move on it just to get things going. But we're exploring this first town that we've had any access to, which is Haven, which did have a role in the previous games.
You must speak with most everyone here. How
Just
are
in the
people
first.
doing?
Hope and fear in equal measure. No one really knows what it means when an Inquisition is called. Yet.
Gotcha.
I imagine it's no better for you. You've got my sympathies, for what it's worth.
Can I see what you have for sale?
Of course. My wares are at the table.
Do is just sell some stuff. I'm not going to necessarily sell the Bow of the Dragon that I don't want to use because it's too fancy. But shields and things. Sell all. There's a sell all button. You can do comparisons. I think you can do comparisons. Yeah, while on the vendor even. You can see the coat that we crafted. Weapon schematics, armors, recipes, other. Childhood. Play Dragon Age on 360. Did play pretty well. Yeah, D-Twizzle. Hello, by the way. Oh, hello. Go talk to Solus. Here, I'll show you. You were gonna put on a different piece of armor. Range defense, medium arms and medium legs. Lots. Probably should sell some of that other stuff. My Nug skin armor.
The chosen of Andraste.
Solve.
The blessed hero sent to save us all.
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have suggested a griffon, but sadly they're extinct. Joke as you will, posturing is necessary. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of spirits clash to reenact the bloody past in ancient wars, both famous and forgotten. Every great war has its heroes. I'm just curious what kind you'll be.
The Hair King. You sold this game. Did you finish it and sell it, or bail on it, or how are you doing?
What do you mean, ruins and battlefields?
Any building strong enough to withstand the rigors of time has a history. Every battlefield is steeped in death. Both attract spirits. They press against the veil, weakening the barrier between our worlds. When I dream in such places, I go deep into the Fade. I can find memories no other living being has ever seen.
You fall asleep in the middle of ancient ruins. Isn't that dangerous?
I do set wards. And if you leave food out for the giant spiders, they are usually content to live and let live.
I've never heard of anyone going so far into the Fade. That's extraordinary.
Thank you. It's not a common field of study for obvious reasons. Not so flashy as throwing fire or lightning. The thrill of finding remnants of a 1,000-year-old dream? I would not trade it for anything. I will stay there. At least until the breach has been closed.
Was that in doubt?
I am an apostate surrounded by Chantry forces in the middle of a mage rebellion. Cassandra has been accommodating, but you understand my caution.
The giant hole in the sky trumps any other concerns. We can worry about the rest later.
Yes. Who can say what this world will look like when we are done fighting for it? But now let us hope either the mages or the Templars have the power to seal the breach.
I think Solus, if we talk to him again now, might already have a lot more to say on all that. But he certainly will have more to say on everything. Apothecary. Find recipes through exploration or by visiting merchants. Visit an apothecary with herbs you gather in the wilderness to upgrade potions. Use the equip station to assign different potions to each of your party members and to replenish the potions you are carrying. Use the upgrade station to unlock permanent upgrades to your potions. So, once you've unlocked it, you can upgrade it. To upgrade it, select it, and upgrades require a significant amount of herbs to unlock. In return, they give permanent and significant bonuses to your potions. So, healing potion. Increase the healing requires 29 elf root. I have 13. And a Dawn Lotus, I have 2. Different materials required to increase healing further. Unknown potion. Tonics. Aids. Once we have actual selections, multiple potions, be able to assign them to the slots. Depends on which character we're on. We could have Varric carrying stamina potion and a health potion, and a mage carrying a lyrium potion and a health potion.
Segret told me that he can't let the herbs go for anything less than 8.
Fine. We'll gather our own.
We just don't have any choices
Segret,
yet.
He better hope he doesn't need a salve anytime soon. Look who's back from the dead. Again.
Again?
I don't recall meeting you before.
I'd be surprised if you did. You weren't particularly coherent. Someone had to patch you up after you staggered out of making knows where, though. So, you're welcome.
I didn't realize. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you can pay me back by fixing the world. Name's Adan. I'm in charge of keeping our little band here stocked with potions and elixirs. Not that Seeker Pentagast seems to care whether we've got the supplies to actually do that.
For a healer, you don't seem particularly nurturing.
I'm not a healer. I'm an alchemist who's forced to play Mother Hen. You want something to burst into flame on contact with the air? Done. Gladly. Patching up wounded soldiers is a waste of my time and talents. But there are a few around who can help.
Is there anything I can do to help out?
We're fine as far as raw labor goes. You've more important things to do than tend to me. I only wish I'd been able to find Master Tajin's note.
But please tend to my needs.
He was working on something special. He died at the conclave, and his notes weren't here. Been too busy dealing with the wounded to look for them.
How are your people holding up?
There's no shortage of work. That's for damn sure.
How do I go about having potions made?
Just take a look there and tell me what you'd like. Find a recipe for something better, I can make that too.
And handed out a regeneration potion recipe. That also completes the little side quest of talking to Haven's best and brightest. V. Patient observations. Here was day 2. Pulse normal, breathing normal, still unresponsive. Careful drop feed of prep. Elf root extract to hasten her recovery. Lot of thrashing. Mutters about too many eyes. Something about the gray. Encouraging. Regen potion. Increased duration needs more elf root and royal elf root. What we can do is now assign it to another slot. Regen potion. Restores 26 health every 2 seconds for 60 seconds. To replenish potions, you must have enough herbs of the appropriate type. So you can't just go crazy with what you have learned and just always get them all back. You can select the assigned potion and press X to replenish individual potions or Y to restore the entire stack. Because of what it costs, 1 elf root, you have 13, it'll cost 5 elf root to get 5 regen potions back. Healing potions, I think, are a freebie. But everything else costs. So do I really want to spend my elf root on this? Well, sure, for the moment. But I'm going to need that elf root to upgrade things. We're going to need that elf root for other characters. If I want anyone else to have a regen potion, I could not have everyone in the party right now with regen potions. But I could if I wanted to make a single. I could replenish 1. Cassandra could carry 1 or 2. Varric could carry 1 or 2.
That should do for you.
Once we have more to work with, it won't feel quite as constricted. But right now, we just can't carry that much besides basic healing potions. We won't have what we need. Randy Dowager Quarterly. Add up. If I do pick up anything to read that you know that is good, that should be read, and I don't read it, just call me out on it. I'm happy to read through stuff that I have picked up and not read. Good. I can't always tell at a glance whether it's something I feel is worth reading.
Welcome back.
Actually collecting songs by hearing them in the tavern. Good luck, KG. You would normally need luck for that. Tale of the Frostbacks. I do like tales. Even mountains had a heart once. When the world was young, Korath the Mountain Father kept his throne at the peak of Belenas, the mountain at the center of the world, from which he could see all the corners of the earth and sky. He saw strong men become weak, brave men grow cowardly, and wise men turn foolish for love. Korath devised a plan that he might never be betrayed by his own heart, by taking it out and hiding it where no soul would ever dare search for it. He sealed it inside a golden cask, buried it in the earth, and raised around it the fiercest mountains the world had ever seen, the Frostbacks. Guard it. But without his heart, the Mountain Father grew cruel. His chest was filled with bitter mountain winds that shrieked and howled like lost souls. Food lost its flavor. Music had no sweetness. He lost all joy in deeds of valor. He sent avalanches and earthquakes to torment the tribes of men. Gods and men rose against him, calling him a tyrant. But with no heart, Korath could not be slain. Soon there were no heroes left, either among men or gods, who would dare challenge Korath. The Lady of the Skies sent the best of her children, the swiftest, the cleverest, and strongest flyers, to scour the mountains for the missing heart. And for a year and a day they searched. But Sparrow and Raven, Vulture and Eagle, Swift and Albatross returned to her with nothing. Then the ptarmigan spoke up and offered to find the God Chief's heart. The other birds laughed, for the ptarmigan is a tiny bird, too humble to soar, which spends half its time hopping along the ground. The lady would not give the little creature her blessing, for the mountains were too fierce even for eagles. But the ptarmigan set out anyway. The little bird traveled deep into the Frostbacks. She could not fly, she crawled. She hugged the ground and weathered the worst mountain winds. So made her lonely way to the valley where the heart beat. With all the gods' terrible deeds, the heart was far too heavy for the tiny bird to carry. So she rolled it, little by little, out of the valley and down a cliff, and when the golden cask struck the earth, it shattered. The heart was full, almost to bursting, and the pain of it roused the mountain god to come see what had happened. When Korth neared his heart, it leapt back into his chest, and he was whole again. Then Hakon, Winter's Breath, bound Korth's chest with 3 bands of iron and 3 bands of ice, so it could never again escape. And all the remaining gods named the ptarmigan honored above even the loftiest eagles.
Of course.
Lots of good little tales that threaten to wreck my voice before we even get far.
What do dwarves do when magic gets out of control?
We call the Templars, just like the rest of you.
Even down in Orzammar?
Friend, I've never even seen...
Didn't find anything.
Can I help you with something?
I suppose not.
Farewell.
Make her go with you.
Modify some armor. Oh. Find Tegan's notes. The apothecary mentioned that his master, Tegan, was working on something special before he died at the Conclave. Requisition for weapons. Right next to her? Notes. Logging stand. You go and do those things first. Often do those things. Okay. Is it unwise for me to go after these things now?
How could that great breach not have been caused by the mages?
It is reasonable.
See reason, Lieutenant. We cannot stay here.
Why not?
Because we're
There's that evade. I don't remember it being like that. I must be thinking of the shot. I haven't picked up yet. That evasive attack where you leap backwards, leaping shot. Welcome back, KG. Do you think it's unwise of me to go wandering off at this point? Or to Haven's Chamber. We're not going anywhere else on the world map yet. That little no looting animation mod was a huge saver. Can you imagine having to take... How long is it? It's like 5 seconds or more for each thing you gotta pick up. Pick up elf fruit, 5 seconds. Pick up the elf fruit next to it, 5 seconds. Pick up the iron down the hill, 5 seconds. You could be standing in one area. You will pad your playthrough out with hours of watching the looting animation. By the time you've put 50 to 100 hours into the game, you will have hours of watching your character bend down to pick things up. It would be nice if that was just toggleable in the game's options. The compass pulses. Make sure to search.
I should look around.
More stuff. It's just coming back to me. You think I'll just get my ass kicked if I try to do the find the notes? Or am I actually blocked somehow from some of the things? The notes! Turn the notes to Adan. Go find that logging stand. That way. In the first Dragon Age in Origins, you spent a lot of time picking up things like elf fruit. Like this. Much like this. In Dragon Age 2, you would only find a few instances of that, and it would represent discovery of new varieties. Actually, clear it up. I can go up and around that way. Go up to that bridge, but we can't cross into the building on the other side. Oh. A lot more forgiving on the terrain than I remember. Gosh. It just fall into. Nice. It's kind of cool as long as I'm not. Oh shit, am I really stuck down here? Is that a place I should not have fallen into? Are you? Oh, I can get out. Oh, was that not something I was supposed to be able to fall through? Son of a... God. I thought that was cool at first. Like, yeah, I fell into a cave. Cool, where's the entrance to the cave? It's not a cave. The hole in the map. KG, you fixed your hard drives. What, it sounded so bleak. What's going on? You broke the game, Jay. Ah, this is not cool. Our last autosave. New save, then reload. I get it autosaved in here. Not cool. All right. New save and reload. Apparently, since the autosave did just that, it wouldn't have. That wasn't extremely frustrating or anything. Perfect moment to autosave right after you fall off the map. Let's go grab the notes again, and I still want to find that logging stand. I'll just make a couple saves before we go anywhere near that. Oh look, the terrain's being so forgiving. It let me climb this mountain and then fall through it into nowhere. Elf roots. Or elf root. Not on the minimap. Maybe it was lagging when I picked up. Right.
There must be something here.
Notes. You need elf root for potions. Oh yeah, we need a ton of it, KG. We were just talking about that. In the first game, you would collect a lot, and in the second game, you would only find the few varieties that you needed. And we're back needing to collect a lot of it. Whole lot of it, more than ever, because you need it not only to resupply your potions, but you'll need large quantities and the rarer stuff to upgrade. It all matters very much. Definitely don't want to skip the pickups, which is why it's so frustrating to have the loot is somewhat randomized. That bow was not in that chest before. That might actually be a bow upgrade. Elden Officer Longbow. Light bonus. Increase maximum stamina. Misery doing pretty good here. How about you? We need huge amounts of this stuff. But the loot animation makes it really painful to pick up the amounts that you need. Not just the general scarcity of the stuff itself. Giving us some of the terrain might be, we're not just going to be able to hop up over these rocks. Can I summarize my combat experience overall in the game? You're tempted to buy it, but the combat's throwing you off. Got 'em on demand. What do you mean by summarize? When the game was new, I played it 3 times. Third time it was on Nightmare. So we're playing it on Nightmare again, but I'm having to relearn how to play again. Combat experience. I mean, was it fluid? Was it fun? Was it complicated or difficult? Wondering what you're looking for in an answer here. I enjoyed the combat in this game. I thought it was good. I sort of prefer the tactical gameplay in Dragon Age Origins to what the rest of the series provided. But it's different, though I think it works for what it was trying to do. Where did I fall in that hole? I don't want to go back there. I saved before coming down onto the ice, in case it does happen. That where I fell down? Maybe it was in that little crevasse. There should be a logging stand over here. Somewhere over here. I claim this for the Inquisition. Can be all action if you want. See, but I'd say you need to use tactical combat if you play above normal difficulties. Yeah, how was the combat, Adam? How was the combat throwing you off? Did you turn the difficulty up? I guess we should head back. Position, we're good. Return the notes, we're good. Modify some armor. We'll do that on the way in. We'll go back by the armors. I'll upgrade. Technically 4th. I played 3 times when it came out. Back to back. Burned out on it. Never played the DLC. So it's been a year and a half. Forgot most of it. I hope to find a lot of new stuff besides the DLC that I haven't even played. KG is definitely the one you want to ask about it. Have over 1,000 hours in the game. Finds new stuff every time. Be cool if I could stumble across some things that even someone who's played as much as KG has not yet found. That would be awesome. The only thing you can never forget is Solas. Well, understandable. Understandable.
So if we get better horses, you think they'll make a difference?
Modify armor. This armor has a couple slots. Has medium arms, medium legs slot. Scout coat arms. We were either given that or found that schematic. Add +3 range defense. Changes. Piece by piece.
She died when the demons attacked her.
Sorry.
It feels silly.
We'll need some of your cloth for bandages.
Sell some more of the stuff I'm carrying while I'm thinking about it. Easily compare this to what I'm wearing. Wearing on this list? I don't think it does. I can compare two things here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Automatic. Heavy armor, medium armor. Valuables. Is there any reason not to sell valuables? Is that like, instead of junk, this time we've got valuables? Sounds better, okay? Went the wrong way. I'm trying to get to the apothecary, turn in the notes, go back to the chantry.
Judge me whole. Find me well within your grace. Touch me with fire and
Have you heard about the refugees out in the hinterlands near Redcliffe?
Could probably talk to Solas some more.
You're back. And in one piece.
Yes, here are the notes.
You said you thought Master Tajan was working on something special. If it helps, I found his notes.
The old codger was on the edge of a breakthrough here, but he couldn't see it. You want some of these mixed up? You just give the word.
Premium potion recipe. Perfect.
Farewell.
So, Solas. Now assign a lyrium potion. Actually giving him lyrium potions will take 1 elf root per. So I want him to have 5. Expensive. Can't just do that willy-nilly.
Closing the breach is our primary goal. But I hope we might also discover what was used to create it. Any artifact of such power is dangerous. The destruction of the Conclave proves that much.
10 dragons in total if you don't count the bosses. Thank you, KG. 10. Alright, they're all good fights. I remember some of them because they're fantastic areas. And the dragons make good use of it. It's not like they have one perch. They move around so much. And the dragons are also different from each other. Long dragon fights if you don't know them already. One of the things they got so right in this game, those dragon fights. time really flies, and we are actually coming up on break number 2. We're about halfway through the stream for the day. Means we just spent 2 hours exploring Haven and the surrounding areas without doing anything too major.
You don't think whatever created...
And you're all still here. This is awesome.
Blast?
You must have good
Did
patience.
you not? The artifact that created the breach is unlike anything seen in this age. I will not believe it destroyed until I see the shattered fragments with my own eyes.
We would do well to try to recover whatever created the breach.
Liliana's people have scoured the area near the blast and found nothing. Whatever the artifact was, it is no longer there. In any case, did you need me for anything?
More about the Fade. Ulas has a lot to say about the Fade.
What do you know about the Fade?
A great deal, from my wanderings. There are few hard facts, but I can share what I've learned.
I'd like to know more about the breach.
Simply put, it is a tear in the veil between this world and the Fade, allowing spirits to enter the world physically. Small tears occur naturally when magic weakens the veil, or when spirits cluster at an area that has seen many deaths. But your mark allows you to exert some control over the breach. That means it was created deliberately.
I'd like to know more about the Veil.
Circle mages call it a barrier between this world and the Fade, but according to my studies in ancient elven lore, that is a vast oversimplification. Without it, imagine if spirits entered freely. The Fade was not a place one went, but a state of nature like the wind.
It sounds like it would be wonderful.
And dangerous. But yes, a world where imagination defines reality, where spirits are as common as trees or grass. Instead, spirits are strange and fearful, and the Fade is a terrifying world touched only by mages and dreamers. I am glad that I'm not alone in seeing the beauty of such a world, along with the obvious peril.
I really like the setting here, even. Like snow.
I'd like to know more about demons.
The Chantry says that demons hate the natural world and seek to bring their chaos and destruction to the living. But such simplistic labels misconstrue their motivations, and in so doing, do all a great disservice. Spirits wish to join the living, and a demon is that wish gone wrong.
Is there a way to coexist? To live with them? If not in peace, at least without such active confrontation.
Not in the world we know today. The Veil creates a barrier that makes true understanding most unlikely. But the question is a good one, and it matters that you thought to ask.
We'll talk later.
Goodbye.
Spirits and demons and elves, oh my. Hello. Hello.
Greetings, Herald of Andraste.
1 logging stand, 5 iron, ward 1 power. You have crafted Inquisition weapons. Our soldiers require additional weapons. If they are to be effective, reward 1 power.
Apothecary
Nice
Don
work.
can have those supplies for you by tomorrow, Quartermaster.
It's about damn time.
With power comes influence. We haven't been introduced to the war table quite yet, but that's all going to be coming up here. So I'll tell you what, we are at that second break time. I feel like this is the same spot we took the last break in. Last break was before going into the Chantry. This break is before going into the Chantry. We're gonna have to go on some adventures sometime here today. But a lot of RPGs have a slow roll start, and this is no exception. We were found at the site of the Conclave, everyone dead, we're the only survivor, we came out of the breach. We have this mark on us that seems to go with the rift in the sky. Hole has been ripped in the sky, it was growing and growing, and it was going to consume the world. But it turns out that we have power, some power to influence that. By closing some rifts, we were able to stop the growth of the breach in the sky. But there are other rifts, and we don't really know what our mission is yet. But Cassandra has formally requested that we join the Inquisition, with the Chantry destroyed and the Templar Order scattered. Who knows the future holds? But we are now considered the Herald of Andraste. People have different opinions and beliefs about what happened when we came out of the breach, who was speaking, a female voice was heard. Well, all that to come. For we have just begun, and I'll be back in about 10-12 minutes. Go stretch your legs, hug someone, grab a drink, smoke them if you got them, and come back. We're only halfway done for the day. We've got about 4 more hours. I think we'll really get this going. Tomorrow's going to be another 8-hour stream. Thursday is going to be a day off. And Friday, as long as things fall into place, we're going to be doing 24 hours of this on Friday. It'll be 24-hour stream number 33 here. Now we've done 32 24-hour streams. There's going to be another one this weekend, unless plans change. I considered bumping it to the following weekend since I got sick this past weekend. Had to move the schedule around, but so far, things are falling into place. If I can avoid losing my voice or my mind, see you soon. Cheers.